any panelist who would like to respond to any of the questions. I think Dr. Adhikari has partly answered the question about what are the models. Say, for example, the forestry model is one that perhaps could be looked at. So, yeah.
Thank you. A number of participants raised about the issue of trade, particularly in terms of energy cooperation, water cooperation, and also increased trade among the South Asian countries. Ironically, South Asian region is a region which is least integrated. Here, a large number of population live, but out of total trade, only 5% of total South Asian trade are there. These are held among the South Asian countries. So you can see that how, less than 5. Yeah, you can. So, so that's how, it's not the issue of tariff, because as the globalization is intensifying, the tariff issue is actually will gradually fade out. But what acts as a barrier is the non-tariff barriers issues, trade facilitation at the border measures. These are the fundamental issues which are which stand in the way of more integration of the South Asian countries, and also so it's not only also the economic issues exclusively, it's also the political will, the political commitment of the leaders within the South Asian countries. Now, someone asked about, about what examples South Asia has in terms of, regional cooperation in addressing various issues. There are some institutions, there's SAARC Climate Fund is there, but, all these also suffer from limitations. SAARC Climate Fund, they are not being able to generate adequate fund. Now, when we talk about funds, we also have to look beyond the region, because weather shocks, climate change, these also have global dimension as much as it has regional dimension. And at the global level, when you deal with the climate change issues, we know all that South Asia is only a victim, only at the receiving end. Now, when you want to have access to climate funds, there is a problem, because most of the funds, 70% of total global fund is for mitigation. But whereas this South Asian region needs more for adaptation. So this is one area where the South Asian countries can work together in terms of raising their voice at the international negotiations. Someone also asked about what lessons South Asia had during the 2008 crisis. I can speak for Bangladesh that in 2008, Bangladesh is almost a food self-sufficient country, but in 2008, in Bangladesh, only 5% of the total food requirement we import. In 2008, since there was global crisis, we wanted to import, but there wasn't, any rice. And also we wanted to, our big neighbor, India, also promised to give, but then later on they also had to look after their own people. So one lesson we have learned is that we have enough food, but the procurement issue. World Bank has suggested that you don't have to now, since everything is globalized, you have access to global resource, you don't have to procure. So we have learned now that no matter what happens, we have to have our own procurement to face situations like this. These are, the problems which directly affect the poorest of the people. Thank you.
Okay, and I think linking to what Dr. Sohani was saying, I think, for example, Bangladesh does import feed, for example, because of the change in the dietary patterns, because of the demand for livestock, for example. So these are some of the dimensions.
Poultry.
That's right, for poultry feed. So all that is really, really quickly changing in the region. We take very quick 2 comments, one from India, one from Pakistan, and then we wrap up the session.
On trade, I agree with the thing. We have SAFTA, the South Asia Free Trade Agreement, but nothing happened. There are a lot of on Dr. Thorat asked about the water policy. I think India now recognizes the water conservation, and recent 12th Five-Year Plan has, the water conservation. About the family farming sustainability, it depends on how, the productivity of the farms And many people want to leave the farms, the youth particularly. In India, if you ask thing, so you have to make it, how do you make them incentive to stay there? And also related to the transformation of agriculture, because agriculture alone can't give resilience. In fact, if you see the small farmers, marginal farmers, 40% of the income comes from non-farm agriculture. So one has to see both agriculture and non-agriculture. Agriculture alone cannot do. Lastly, on sectoral approach, not only agriculture, but for your nutrition and other things, we need beyond agriculture, because agriculture, health, the human and child development, all these convergence approach is needed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
A
I
quick
think.
comment from.
Yeah, I think we should not be that pessimistic about the regional trades. Something is happening already, although it should be happen much at a bigger level. For that I fully agree.
That's what something is.
Yeah, but listen. Listen. For example, in Pakistan, when last time we have a potato crisis, potato was not available in the country and its price went from 30 rupees to 150 rupees. But this time, because of the regional trades, it was only from 30 rupees to 70 rupees, right? So it should have, similarly the case for onions, similarly the price of cement in India. The price of cement start increasing, and then India made a agreement with Pakistan, and now they are, the lot of cement is going to India. But then I thought the main problem is actually in agriculture for the free trade, main problem is the subsidy on both sides. So if you remove the subsidy, now in Pakistan there is a strong resistance that why we should import agriculture commodities from India while their fertilizer prices is one half of what it is in Pakistan, right? So why we should import, subsidized wheat or fertilizer used in wheat from India, which can jeopardize our production. And we calculated, for example, if there is no fertilizer subsidy in both India and Pakistan, it will be much more profitable for India to import it from Pakistan rather than from the Middle East, right? So those type of things, I think that we should work in realistic situation where the problems are. In agriculture trade, the real problem is subsidies on water, on input, on energy, and other things.
Stop.
And I think one more thing they wanted to ask.
We will discuss, and then maybe I'll take it up at the plenary because they're getting ready for the plenary. I'd like to thank all the panelists, and we absolutely have no time to wrap up this session, but I will bring up a few key points at the plenary in 15 minutes. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.